Today we'll be looking at this problem, which you've probably seen floating around the internet. Some people claim it's from a Harvard exam. And when you first look at it, you think, this should be easy, right? Now, before jumping to the solution directly, let's just use our brain, guess some numbers, and see if anything actually works. Starting with x equals 1 and y equals 5. Well, it satisfies equation 1, but 1 into 5 is not equal to 36. Okay, then x equals 2 and y equals 4. Again, 2 into 4 is 8, but not 36. Similarly, x equals 3 and y equals 3 does not work either. Okay, so maybe we're being too restrictive. Maybe the answer isn't a whole number. Why not expand this to all real numbers? Decimals, fractions, anything. I've got a table here and two graphs. This first graph is just the line x plus y equals 6. The second one is a hyperbola, which is for xy equals 36. I'm testing tons of different pairs, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, all kinds of values. And you can see the yellow dots landing perfectly on the line. That's good. But look at the red dots on the other graph. They're making this weird curve, and they're completely missing the hyperbola. The x into y value is never 36. Okay, let's try the opposite. What if I force xy to be 36 and see what happens to the sum? Now the yellow dots sit right on the hyperbola. But the points on the other graph are not anywhere close to that line. The sum is definitely not 6 anymore. Do you see the problem? We can satisfy one equation or the other, but not both at the same time. With real numbers, there's just no solution. If we plot both equations on the same graph, then you can clearly see they're in completely different parts of the plane and they don't intersect. So why don't we change our perspective? Leave the real number line behind and move to the complex plane. But how exactly would the solution look on a graph? We'll come back to this later. Let's actually solve this first. From the first equation, I can isolate y. It's just 6 minus x. Now substitute that into the second equation. We get x times 6 minus x equals 36. Expand this out, rearrange everything, and we end up with a quadratic. From here, we know exactly how to solve a quadratic equation. We'll use the quadratic formula. We plug in our coefficients, and now we need to calculate what's under that square root. b squared minus 4ac. That gives us 36 minus 144, which is negative 108. Now hold on. Negative 108 under a square root? This is why we couldn't find real solutions. The discriminant is negative. That's where imaginary numbers come in. The square root of negative 108 becomes 6 times root 3i. Finish the calculation, divide by 2, and we get our x values. 3 plus or minus 3 times root 3i. Two solutions, both complex. What about y? Just plug these back into y, which is 6 minus x. So when x is 3 plus 3 times root 3i, y becomes 3 minus 3 times root 3i, and vice versa for the other solution. There's our answer, complex conjugate pairs. This is why no amount of guessing with regular numbers would ever work. Now back to the question. How does it look on the graph? Here's the complex plane. The horizontal axis is the real part, and the vertical is the imaginary part. These two dots are our solutions. 3 plus 3 times root 3i up here, and 3 minus 3 times root 3i down here. Mirror images across the real axis, or complex conjugates. The red vector points to the first solution, and the blue vector to its conjugate. When these two complex numbers multiply together, both vectors collapse into this single purple vector, pointing straight along the real axis to 36. Even though both numbers are complex, their product is purely real, 36. The same thing happens with the other solution pair. The yellow and green vectors multiply together, and they also give 36. There's one more way to look at it. we can visualize it in 3D space. This blue plane cutting through space? That's every point where x plus y equals 6, an infinite flat surface. The green and yellow dots are our solutions sitting on that plane. Now this green surface is where x, y equals 36, but only for real numbers. Notice something. Our solution points sit perfectly on the blue plane. Makes sense because they satisfy x plus y equals 6. But they're not touching the hyperbola surface. They're floating off of it. That's because they have imaginary parts. The hyperbola surface only captures real number solutions. Our answers exist in a higher dimensional space that includes the imaginary direction. The green vector points to x, yellow to y, and this purple vector along the real axis is their product, which is equal to 36. You can really see the geometry here. The solutions satisfy the plane constraint for addition, but they extend into the imaginary dimension. That's why we never found them with real numbers. Finally, we can verify our solution. When we add our solutions, the imaginary parts completely cancel out, and we're left with exactly 6. When you multiply these two solutions, you're using the difference of squares pattern. The result is exactly 36. No imaginary parts, just real numbers. That's why complex numbers matter. They're not just a mathematical trick. They reveal structure that's been there all along, just hidden from view. I hope this video helped you clear the concept. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.